Good morning. Well, I was just ordering some parts for our welder. Thanks for all the comments and suggestions already this morning on what things could be. Turns out welder parts not that expensive, so I just ordered it all. We got a new liner, we got a new tip, we got a new diffuser, and this piece, and these pieces, and I even bought the rollers for in there just because I don't know that they've ever been replaced. And this thing is not new by any means, so for a little over $100 we're gonna have all new parts and the thing should work, right? That's the goal anyway. First thing I want to do here this morning, get this recoated, another coat of paint on the seed discs here. And somebody asked me yesterday, why are we putting graphite on the back of these plates? And the reason is because the back of these plates are what rub on the seals in our meters. Here, let me take one over and I'll just show you. Okay, so here's one of our seed meters, and we've got this door on here. And what we do is take this plate, and it fits in here, something like that. And then you lock this in. The seed is on the other side of that plate, right? So the seed comes out through this little hole, and it basically rubs, and this plate turns, and the seeds stick to each one of those holes on the other side. Well, on this door, there's this hole here, and this is where we attach the vacuum tube, that tube right there. It goes on there, and then that big fan up there sucks air through it, creates a vacuum. And what that does is draw air through these little holes, which is what sucks the seed on there so that it holds into place. And this plate turns, and once the seed gets to over in this area, so over here, it passes this part of the seal, which cuts the vacuum off. When the vacuum gets cut off, the seeds drop down and come out the bottom of the meter and through the seed tube into the ground, right? And so we paint the graphite on the back of these plates in order to lubricate it rubbing on this seal, specifically right here, but really all the way around. Because that door closes and it sucks tight and seals on the back of that vacuum plate in order to suck the seeds to the plate there. And so we spray that on there. That graphite is a lubricant to make it slipperier so that it doesn't wear on the seals or the plate near as much. So that's why. I'm going to attempt to do this without getting any more on my face. I got just a little bit left there from yesterday. I couldn't get it off, but hopefully I can do it today. It'll be a little bit neater. Okay, now that those are done, I'm going to put this closing wheel frame back on. This is the last of the ones that I had already done that I had to paint yesterday. And then I guess we can start taking the other ones apart. Those kits should be here today, it looks like. So I can start pulling some of the remaining closing wheels that we've got to weld up yet and get them ready. Okay, there's that one back on. In case you haven't seen some of the last videos and wonder what the heck I'm doing here, basically this piece right here is our closing wheel frame. These wheels close the seed trench in and kind of pack dirt in on the sides of it a little bit so we have good seed to soil contact. And they are getting loose, so they pivot on that joint right there. But these bushings in here are getting some wear to them, quite a bit of wear. And so this has some sideways wiggle. This one's not as bad as a lot of them are. But you can see how much that moves. And so I bought these kits. They're a RK Products kit, closing wheel frame repair. Basically, it puts a bearing in here. You got to weld a bearing holder on, put a bearing in, and then bolt that on there. And it eliminates that side-to-side play, tightens it up so it still pivots up and down, but no side-to-side, which is important to keep you want the seed trench centered right between these wheels. So that's what we're doing. I had ordered 16 of them, which is enough to do half of the rows on this planter. But I liked them so much, I decided to buy the rest of them for this planter and the corn planter that's coming in here next. So we got to finish them. So I'm going to start taking these ones off that haven't been done along the back row here, and then we'll clean them up a little bit, and when our parts get here, probably just after lunch, we can start welding them up. Well, you just go from one right to the next and do all the take the caps off and take the wheels off and then take the bolts out and hang them there, and it goes pretty fast. So I'm going to number them and we'll carry them over to the bench. I've been wire wheeling off the paint where the welds go right here to get it nice and clean, and then we just gotta wait for our pieces and we can weld them up. What? You guys can't see it because apparently we can't see out windows now with my phone, but my parts are here. Tough to beat that. Ordered them yesterday morning. Already here. The box has seen better days, but that's what we needed right there. Sweet. Okay, well, I got all those rows taken back apart, and then I decided to take it one step further. So you remember that bracket that had the hole where the spring goes in that's all worn right there? I decided to take these ones apart and try and weld that up. So we're going to do that. I've got some hard surface rod for the stick welder, and we're going to just put a little bit of weld right in there and hopefully not close the hole in, because it'll be a pain to drill it back out, but that should stop the wear, or at least fill it back in and make it wear much slower. So I've got them all off. I already did one row. I'm getting ready to do that one that's in the vise, and then we'll do the rest of these, and then we got our kits so we can weld our brackets on there. Alright, I'm finding these hard surface rods rather difficult to get a good arc. Keep sputtering in and out, but we'll try it again here. Ooh, let's zoom in a little. Hang on. There, hopefully you guys can see a little bit at least. Yeah, it's not real pretty, but it's doing what I need it to do. A little bit there. That'll work. It's hard to weld in that little channel inside that hole there and get it. Yeah. Anyway, I've got it. I probably could bump the amperage up a little bit, but the rod container said for this size rod 120 amps, and I've got it at 130, so I don't want to go a whole lot more. Come on. because I'm sure somebody's going to ask. These are the rods that I was using for that. Probably overkill. I have no idea. I was trying to look for a date and see how old this container is, because we're down to 3 rods left in there, which means that we've had it for a long time. The only date that really seems semi-relevant would be this one that says 1967 code, that they're using the code from 67, but they could still be using that today for all I know. I have no idea. Anyway, ultra hard 60. So I've got 8 of those done, the ones that I've got taken off, all the stuff in the back row. It's lunchtime, so I'm going to let them cool down while I go eat. We'll come back and paint them up and weld up the bearing race holders on the frames there. If I keep taking this corn planter or this bean planter apart piece by piece and painting it, it's going to look brand new by the time I'm done here. Okay, now we got to let those dry. So I'm going to start welding on these, I guess. Well, I'm working on these closing wheel frames here, and I know it's not the most exciting thing after this is what you've been watching me do for a week, but this is what I'm working on, so it's what I'm going to film. And I'm getting a little bit better. I picked a little different rod today. It's still a 70-14, but it's a smaller diameter than the ones I was using the other day, and that seems to be a little easier to use for me. I don't know. Anyway, I got another one right over there. I got to get the pieces out of here. Okay, you can watch from up there. Doing too bad. My welds are getting better. Again, they'll hold, so that's what matters, right? Well, there's 8 of them. Most of them I did pretty well. All right, I'm gonna let those cool down. Hopefully these other pieces that we already painted will be dry, so we can put those back on and hang those up and paint them. And then tomorrow morning those will be dry, and we can put them back on and then take the other 8 off. So I did the ones along this back row here. We've got to do from there across the center on the front rank after I get these ones put back together. So that's going to be tomorrow's project, welding on them. I took those down so that I'll just let them, they're fairly dry, but they're just a little taggy, so I'll just let them sit there overnight. I'll get these painted so they can dry overnight, and we can put them all back together tomorrow. I should have got more than 2 cans of green paint. I'm going to use it all up here. I'm starting to turn all the stuff underneath my little paint booth here green. Whoops. Well, I did good today. I didn't get any more graphite on my face. So anyway, I gotta go home, and we'll be back at this tomorrow. We'll keep working on them closing wheels. Brock will be here so he can help me with that a little bit. We're getting closer to wrapping this planter up. Problem is, the next thing to come in the shop is another planter. Although I've got a little side project we might work on between them a little bit. So we'll see. We're getting there. And if you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Hit that like and subscribe buttons. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.